In a world overrun with the fake, delusional, and disingenuous, he stands as a beacon of truth. He is Abuki Cabal. You are listening to Abuki Cabal.
Welcome to the Abuki Cabal Show.
What's going on, fellas? If you're new to the channel and you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe. Doesn't take but a second to do that. Helps me out with the algorithm. Tonight, I'm going to take a look at some of the events that have that led into the conversation about pearly things entering into the space. So we're going to cover a show that happened before the incident that ended up firing, where Anton ended up firing Kay and Kayla. So the purpose of this is to kind of put a spotlight on the affect that these two bring to any show that they're on. This is what was their particular venue where they brought on one of the other cast members to discuss the Ime Udoka situation. And I just want you guys to kind of take a look at this, and we're going to kind of break this down, and I'll give my take on it. Okay. All right. So here's the beginning of the show. Let me blow this up. All right. So here you have the beginning of the show. Let's take a look.
Go ahead and look at the video, and we will go from there.
Even gonna lie, it'd be irritating the hell out of me when I see he cheated on Neal. Yes, Nia Long, Beyonce, J-Lo. It never mattered. How you looked never mattered to a man that was going to disrespect you and degrade you anyway. It doesn't matter. But let me tell you what does. It does matter how you look to a certain extent to a man that's not ready for marriage, but is ready to have you in his collection. What did Future say? If I hit her once, she a part of my collection? Because that's what it is. These men see women like Nia Long and say, yeah, I got to get you pregnant. Yeah, I got to marry you. I got to sit.
Let me stop this. Isn't it interesting how I don't care what kind of black woman that you're dealing with, they always use as examples people who are way out of their price range, people who are multimillionaires, people who look better than them, live better than them, whatever the case may be. They live in a world of spectating celebrities. So they almost show that there's an inability to give examples in the real world. All examples that they would have you be like, or that they compare you to, or they compare your description of what you require of them, is then countered by some celebrity situation. And I mean, it's sad, but it's pervasive in the environment that we have to deal with. But let's move on.
your ass down somewhere, because what I don't want is other men touching you. But me, I'm community property. So let's stop with the, what? She's so pretty. Yeah, she's pretty. She's beautiful. But none of that ever mattered.
Yeah. So thoughts on the video. I agree with this video. I mean, from the baddest of the baddest women, still get cheated on, still get degraded. So all this whole, oh, if you do all of this, like every day it comes out where all the women that are the most feminine and high value and so attractive and fit and all of these things still get cheated on, still get disrespected. So I think it's very, very interesting how men will get on the internet and say, this is what you need to do to lock a man down. This is what you need to do to earn to be worthy of a high value man, or to, whatever, what is it? Not hit the wall and all these other things. I think it is really crazy because we see how it, like she said, it still doesn't matter. There are some men that are going to do what they're going to do no matter what, because they feel like I'm a man and I can do that. So when we have these talks about all these things that women need to do, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because there's a culture of men that are always going to do what the fuck they want to do. It doesn't matter if you're the epitome of femininity, you have the hottest body, J-Lo, Nia Long.
Okay, I'm gonna stop again for a second. So what are we arguing? Are we arguing to look like trash and still date? Are we arguing to basically do our own thing and the men accept whatever we give them because they're gonna, cheat anyway? This ties into this expectation for us to be no good from the start. So you start at the finish line with these women and they've got a head start on you. You'll never catch up to whatever their expectation of you is. And that's unfortunate. And we've talked about where this comes from, this false narrative of the color purple, what was happening during that time period. I was listening to General Tito, and he was talking about how he actually looked up what was going on during the time period of the color purple. And what was going on was the exact opposite of what was being depicted. But black women take it as the gospel. And it seems like anytime they see something on TV or, Lifetime or whatever the case may be, whatever they see, they seem to take it in and it becomes reality to them. They become emotionally attached and involved in a way that they cannot separate themselves and their situation from whatever situation that they've seen or heard. And every man will pay for that. You have women who have never been cheated on, who are basically carrying the baggage of a woman who's been cheated on. And it's crazy. It really is. But let's move on. I've kind of jumped off a little bit.
Beyonce, hottest bodies, fit, feminine, all these things. It doesn't matter, because there is a culture out here that tells men that they can do whatever they want, especially if they high value. They got options. They can do whatever the fuck they want. But of course, like she said, they want to sit you the fuck down so nobody else gets to you, so that you can be deemed as worthy to get sat.
So here again, you see that there is almost like when little girls look at little boys and go, why does he get to go and do these things? Why can't I go and do boy things too? Well, that carries on all the way up to when these women become adults. And you hear the same thing. Well, why do men get to sleep around and do all of these things? The things that they perceive men to have an advantage with, they want it too. They want that equitable outcome for whatever it is that they perceive that man to be doing, or an equal ability to be able to go out and do whatever it is. Now, this isn't an argument for, well, if I have a virtuous stance on something and I have morals and all of this, that's just not acceptable to me. That's not what she's saying. She's saying basically she wants to be able to be a dirtbag if the man can be a dirtbag. So then I would argue, why would you want to be unethical because another person is unethical? You know, why would you want to be a dirtbag if this man is a dirtbag? Why would you want to be a cheater if it's the very thing that you don't want, that you don't like about men? You know, notice that whatever they don't like about men, they want to be able to do it too. It doesn't make sense, does it?
The fuck down while he goes out and does the community property in the streets. That is the double standard of it all, because I'm a man and I can do that. And it's just different for me because I go inside of women and blah, 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 excuses, bullshit about why you don't need to be an upstanding guy because you don't have to, because men don't have to. Like, it's complete bullshit. So I definitely wanted to play that video. Kay, what do you think about the video?
So I think we talked about it on our last show, that, you know, how you look doesn't matter. And the fact that so many people put, you know, like Bruzzer even just said, when we asked what makes a woman high value, it was, I think he said body count, her fitness level, and her looks. And
what else did I say?
You tell me, because I don't remember.
See, they never listen. You talk to them and then they'll ask you a question and then you'll say, well, what did I just say? And then they'll say, well, I don't know. And Kay is legendary for this. I want you to tell me. How about you tell me what you were saying? I'm sorry, I don't understand. Now, this is from a teacher now. She is an educator. And this is how she acts.
So you said something about body count and fitness, right?
And looks, right?
It's funny how y'all skipped over the most important point of y'all value.
Youth? What was it?
So all those were important.
Okay, so youth. All right, so
youth.
Body count. You said those things, but like, Kayla, that clip you just played, I mean, she said, you know, it doesn't matter because we think about like a Beyonce or, you know, whoever people think are, you know, the women who.
All three of those women that she said, they all were wiped up at a young age. And
at a young age. So
J-Lo got married young. Nia been with him forever. Who's the other girl? Beyonce been with Jay-Z since she was a teeny bopper, very young. So what?
Then
still acted a fool.
But then the excuse shifts to, well, they have money, so they don't have to. Like, it's always something, right? So if the woman fits into what some men view as quote unquote high value, then it's like, all right, she's going to get the man where those things aren't going to keep them around. Like, it's inconsistent. It's giving very inconsistent. How on one hand can it be, well, you know, make sure you have all these things, but if you have all these things and then you qualify for this certain type of man, also expect a level of treatment that you don't want. Like, what? That doesn't make sense.
Now, I don't think that this is what's being said at all. No one's saying that you have to expect to be cheated on, but you see they're defending their position to be dysfunctional. We're going to assume that you are going to cheat. So why should I be youthful? Why should I be pleasant? Why should I be fit? It would seem to me that a woman would want to look as good as she can, you know, which we know they pamper and primp themselves all to be damned. And this is always, well, they say they do this for themselves, you know, and if you say, well, why don't you do it for me? No, you set me the way I am. I can dress myself. I can do this. I can do that. Everything is about independence, you know, whereas other women do things for the attention. They're honest with themselves about, and with everybody else, that they do things for the attention of their men. And when they're dating, it's for men in general. Okay? So they're fighting against what they should want to do in the first place, whether they're with a man or not. But if they're with a man, they want to be physically pleasing, visually pleasing to that man. You want to be fit so that you can be healthy. Also, to be able to, have decent sex, to have a healthy life. You look better in your clothes. All of the things that they like about being fit, we like about you being fit. They should want to be feminine. And see, a lot of the times they just think because they're pretty that means they're feminine. No, pretty is different from feminine, from femininity. And they don't get that. And you'll see, and if you just listen to some of these arguments, they don't really know what femininity is. And they think that it's something that you can turn on, turn off, and that we're just supposed to assume that they have. And they think that we're too dumb to be able to tell what femininity is and whether you're half-assing me or whether you are actually doing this because this is who you are. And if you're giving me full throttle and you're totally into me, that's what I want. These women who think that they're supposed to have a roster and then the man is supposed to basically take the effort that's broken down however many times between the men that she has in her roster. So any fool knows that if you divide a pie up, it's not a whole pie. I want 100% out of my woman. Every man wants 100% out of their woman. So you can't do that when you got a roster, sweetie. So let's move on, guys.
Okay, so here's what makes sense. Nia Long was how old?
Now they think that this doesn't matter. Look at their eyes. See, this is where the computers break down. This is where the circuitry doesn't hold up, but they both look like they have just been hit with, a splash of water and woke up in the middle of the night. They don't have a fucking clue about what he's asking.
I don't know
the significance of what he's asking.
how old she is currently.
Let's take 50 in her 50s.
Maybe.
Well, she's somebody's
6 years
wife.
older than him.
She's somebody's wife.
And
Okay,
again,
she's in her 50s.
Nia is nobody's wife. She's dating Ime Udoka. They're not married.
She
Yeah,
is.
now she's in her 50s. People get old. That's what
salary
happens.
does this guy make? Is he in the top 1% or below?
He's definitely in the 1%. He's a Celtics coach. He makes more money than most people in America.
He is an earning of 1%. And still, like I stated before, women are delusional because they expect men in the 1% that makes 7 figures or better to have some type of sexual loyalty, which is not.
What? Okay.
Bruiser, do you
If
think
she marries someone high value
Bruiser, do you think
or
that
high earning, she should not expect sexual loyalty?
Bruiser, do you think that men are just
So hold on. So let me.
Now, see, this really is messing them up because they both think that they deserve a man of that caliber. Neither one of these women are in the range of a man like that, but they mentally think that they can argue the point of a woman who is in the crosshairs of a man who is looking to date a woman or marry a woman who meets his specifications.
Let me break it down to you. So if I'm a single man going into a relationship and I haven't earned another 1% population, I'm not going to submit to the same restrictions of 99% of all men. Only way I would is if I'm already in a relationship, I got some issue going on down there where I'm not like I don't have any drive or anything. It's just not gonna happen.
I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of their relationship, so I can't like speak specifically on.
What does it matter if you don't know the ins and outs of the relationship? Stick to what Bruzzer said. Bruzzer is correct. Now, some men may not be that way, but if a man has that money, why should he narrow himself down to one woman if he wants variety? If that's his position, and if you became involved with him, that's what you signed on for. And, look, it's been said that the NBA, I think Dennis Rodman said it, that the NBA is half money and the other half is pussy. And if you don't manage yourself correctly, one of the two is going to be your ruin. So, and I think that that's really for good advice for any man. You need to control those aspects of your life. So let's move on. But they have no clue about what Bruzzer is talking about. And Kay is going to begin with the excuses and the diversions and tactics.
But what you're saying is interesting because you're basically saying that no matter what a man says to a woman, that if they're at a certain quote unquote level, that no woman should trust them. Is that what you're saying?
No, that is not what he's saying. And you're not listening. You're not listening. This is crazy, but let's move on.
Saying?
Men making less.
Are you saying that men are untrustworthy?
Let me answer. Men making less than $60,000 a year often struggle with loyalty anyway. Why would men who has the means of financing the lives of multiple women?
Notice that they can't even let the man talk. This shows a fundamental disrespect for men as to how, when you're trying to talk to them about a situation that involves men, I'm sure Bruzzer's been a man for a long time. So he's trying to explain how men operate. Some men operate, but they're trying to tell him how these men are operating. It doesn't make sense. They cannot listen, and they cannot acknowledge that there's something that they don't know about any subject. Let's move on.
Remain loyal.
Men of all tax brackets cheat. Men that work.
Now, how does she know that? Men of all tax brackets cheat. How do you know that? So you're just speaking generally about cheating. And, my question would be, have you been cheated on? Do you know somebody that's been cheated on? Have you, we'd have to get some background on her and why her positions, why she goes so hard for the position that men are not trustworthy.
At the grocery store cheat, men that but we make excuses for when the high value men cheat because
so what y'all trying to say is men are monogamous, and I'm telling you they aren't.
So Bruzzer, are you saying that
according to hold on, let me just say this. Listen, just let me see if I can break it down to you. According to the latest data available, 76% of US millionaires are white. While black and Asian and they account for like 8% each, and Hispanic is 7%. So this stat narrows it down even more. So to take it a step further, since black, Asian, and Hispanic men make up less than 30% of their entire pool of 7-figure population, if I'm a woman and I want to increase my chances of scoring a loyal millionaire, you'd be wise to choose a white millionaire, because there are so much more of them making that kind of money, which means the popularity among white millionaires is very dense compared to the other races. So if 100 women live in a village with 4 black millionaires, how many options does each black millionaire have? 25, right? If 100 of those women live in a village with 76 white millionaires, how many options does each white millionaire have? 1.3 options. So meaning it's a 30% chance that he would have a side chick. So you're dating a black man who's in the 1%. So only 8% of black men are part of that 1%, and you expect.
Now, and here's a part of that too. See, what he's not telling them is that, they're acting like all these women are virtuous and whatnot. Women are hypergamous. So once they know that man has all that money, they're all going to be basically trying to one up each other in order to gain the favor of the rich man. But they're acting like these women are just virtuous. They totally don't understand what he's talking about.
This guy that has some type of sexual loyalty.
Bruzzer.
It's just not going to happen.
We need to make sure we don't get anybody with too much money, because we cannot expect loyalty from them.
Bruzzer.
We need to make sure we get with men under a certain income.
The only reason why we monogamous, only reason why black men are black, only reason why men period are monogamous is because society says you're supposed to be monogamous.
No, you don't. No, society doesn't say that. You can do whatever you want. This is America. You
But
can
you'll
do
be
whatever
killed.
you want. You don't have to get married
Men
and make
act-
See how Kayla is unable to grasp mentally topics that are above surface level. She doesn't understand societal pressures. What society deems as beneficial and what it doesn't. These things are instituted from a young age, and you start doing things because that's how things are done. So she doesn't understand that she's been put in a box. That's why she is having such a hard time with any concept outside of what's normal to her. You know, and I love it how women always say, whatever year it is, it's 2019. We can do whatever we want to. It's 2020. It's 2021, 2022. It's, you know, whatever year, they always have a saying like, you know, they're going to have this ultimate freedom this year, as if it is not the same as it's always been. You know, but they cannot grasp this concept. This is cognitive dissonance visualized.
out to a woman and then say, "Oh, I'm
within
doing
their
it because
nature.
society wants me to do it," and
If
so
men
I'm
acted
going to
within
do
their
it.
nature, if men acted within their nature, no man would be monogamous.
I don't
Okay, so
agree- I don't
Bruzzer.
agree with that. I think some men do like the women that they're with, and they like being with her. I do think that
Right.
a lot of men do not want to be out in the streets. They like the woman that they're with. They're happy. So this notion that like no men want to be monogamous to one woman, I just don't think that that's true. I think
I
that
don't
men,
Say they didn't want to be. I said they do want to be, to have a sexual relationship, because that's what society's telling women. Oh, that is a deal breaker for you in a marriage. What I'm telling you guys is men are only monogamous because we have to, in order to keep you in our lives, in order to keep you from leaving us and taking all of our finances.
So Bruzzer, because taking all the finances, that only applies in a like marriage situation if there's no prenup and if there are even finances to be taken. Like y'all act like every person is in a situation where alimony is going to get paid. They're not. I don't think the average person is in that situation. That's like a different situation.
But she has no empathy for the people that it does happen to. I mean, there's story upon story upon story of men losing everything that they have to a woman that didn't even give them half of what they wanted. You know? This is crazy.
But okay, back to the like other question. Are you saying that men should not be trusted by women? Are you saying that women just should not trust men?
It's not a matter of trust if you already have the expectations for it. It's more.
No, it is
it's
a
more
matter of
understanding.
trust. When
No, it's
somebody-
not. It's
Yes,
understanding.
it is.
If
If
you
you're
understand,
understanding.
If you're married,
you
Bruzzer,
guys don't understand men. That's what it is. You don't
Bruzzer,
understand men.
I understand
Especially
men,
these guys.
See, this is utter chaos. These two can't run a show. And this is basically a team up because these guys are a team. They always attacked on the Lapeef show. Always. They always teamed up. Whenever Kayla would say something, Kay would come in to save her because Kayla says dumb stuff all the time. You know, Kay is like a black blonde. I mean, she's so aloof that things just go over her head. You see, she starts on a tirade and then she has to go back and say, well, back to what we were talking about What were you talking about? You know, that type of stuff. That's how Kay is. Kay is just she's like I said, a black blonde.
Also, can I
figure.
simply, if you tell me something, can I trust this the truth or not? It has nothing to do with understanding men.
Yes, it does. If you understand that men like variety, then you understand that he may be with you in a monogamous fashion, but he still wants to have sex with other women. He's still going to be looking at other women, you know, but she can't wrap her head around that, you know, but women cheat too. And women never stop looking at men. So that's something that she's not acknowledging herself. So let's move on.
You, just as a human being, are you an honest human being with integrity or not? Don't say that I'm a man.
Yes,
and
we
I
are. Yes, we are. We have the will. We have control.
You say something.
We have accountability.
It should be the truth.
We have control.
How
and
hard is it not to lie?
We have control and we have accountability on our behavior and our actions. So if we want to decide and say, hey, look, we're going to be monogamous, we can do that.
Okay.
We will do that, and we have do that, and we do that.
And many men do that.
But because we do that, and we want to do that for the sake of having a successful marriage, doesn't mean that is not our natural behavior.
Okay, so now you're talking about
that's not even the topic. Like, okay, that's not even.
That's what it is. I just broke down the monogamous behavior and the natural behavior of a man, and I just related that to why men who make 7 figures plus and become the 1% population in that tax bracket are not going to be succumb to the restrictions of 99% of men. They're just not going to do that.
How are you speaking for what the 1% does?
This is insane.
Are you part of the 1%?
No, I'm not part of the 1%.
So then what? So how are you the representative?
What the hell does this have to do with Ime Udoka? This is so out in the weeds that it's not even funny. And this is basically just, you know, badgering the hell out of your host in order to strawman him to death.
For the 1%.
I never stated that I was a representative of the 1%.
You're definitely saying what the 1% does and will do and won't do and what they gonna do this or not cheat.
This is a visualization also of why a lot of black men don't even want to deal with black women, because it's this type of unruliness, this type of chaotic thinking, this badgering that takes place. You know, they don't even have basic communication skills. You know, this is chaos.
Simply talking about the expectations of the 1%.
No, there are no expectations. I do not expect a man to cheat on.
She's not a 1%. I don't think she's ever had a 1% man. So here again, you have these average women putting themselves in the place of women who are seeking men in the top 1% earning bracket.
Me.
But
I do not expect a man to cheat
you
on
expect
me.
him not to cheat on you, right?
I expect him to be a man of his word.
use
And whatever
expect
we
in your
discuss
sentence,
and we
therefore you just stated an
communicate,
expectation.
I expect whatever we discuss and communicate, I expect him to be honest with me. I expect him as a man of integrity to just be honest about where he is in his life. If you are not in a place that you want to be faithful, if whatever it is, just be honest. If you say that you're a good guy, you can't say that you're a good guy and then say one thing and then say, well, I have value, so she should have the expectation that I may step out sometime. Absolutely the fuck not. Either you are a man of integrity or you.
And if he is honest and he tells you that basically he can't be with just one woman. He loves you and he's a good guy. He just likes to have sex, have variety, sexual variety. Then what? You know, and this is the man that you chose to be with. So then you have the option of not messing with that man. So I don't understand what the problem is. You don't have to be with that kind of man. You don't have to have a man that makes $1 million, do you? But they act like this is something that they have to have because they don't really know what the value of money is.
You are not. You can't act like it just can flip whenever, or people should have expectations of how people should be, like based on because he's a man or how much money he has. That is absolutely ridiculous to me, and that doesn't make any sense, especially from women that are supporting men to build lifestyles that may put them on in the 1%. Women are supporting them and building businesses, building a life for their family that could take them to the 1%. Is she thinking in her mind?
Most of these women that we're talking about, they were not there when this man made his money. They didn't have anything to do with that money. You know, like Tiger Woods lost, you know, quite a bit of his money. His wife didn't swing a club. She had kids. That's about it. She had nothing to do with his training or any of his awards that he won. Ime Udoka is making his money based off of his ability. Doesn't have anything to do with Neal Long. A lot of other men had their ideas. Those women didn't have anything to do with that. And they come in later on after the money is made, and then they expect a piece. Now, there are some who help these men move along. They work in their companies and whatnot. And if they have a significant level of involvement with that, yes, they should be compensated. You know, but these women who are out here gold digging, which they act like don't exist, you know, they exist, and they're out here trying to get a piece. And unlike Kayla, these women are willing to put up with a lot more than what she's able to even conceive or perceive.
What a lot of women think, once he gets rich or once he gets on, he's going to leave me for a white girl or start cheating or start being out here in the street. And we see that happens.
Did he leave her, or did he exercise an option that he had?
What?
I'm asking
if his dick is out in the streets, then he's not even really with her in reality. He's just
asked a simple question. Did he leave his fiance? Did he leave his fiance? When Jay-Z exercised his option, did he leave his wife?
He did.
No, he did.
He did.
So they got a divorce.
I didn't say that they got a divorce, but he forsake the marriage in that moment.
Did he leave his duty as a provider and protector for his family?
Oh, so as long as you're providing and protecting, it's cool that you in the streets?
Okay, so what do you value in a man?
You not being in the streets means because
your
duty. No. Don't make it me, because that's your duty. That is your duty as a man, to provide and protect. Don't put it back on me like, oh, if you want him to provide and protect, you need to put up with well, is he still providing and protecting? That's what he's supposed to do. So don't flip it around like.
You notice how this has become personal, but they're talking about somebody else. They're talking about Nia Long and Ime Udoka. But this quickly has become into a personal vendetta against this all-encompassing cloud that is cheating men.
Is he providing and protecting? When I ask you, why is he in the streets if he's committed to his marriage? Well, is he doing what he's supposed to do as a man? What does that have to do with him respecting his marriage? Absolutely the fuck nothing, because he's doing what he's supposed to do as a man, which is to provide and to protect. You're doing your fucking job in your role as a male on the planet. You're not doing nobody no favors. That's what you're supposed to do. Provide for your kids and take care of your family. So you acting like you're doing her a favor. You asked her to marry you. You asked her to sit the fuck down. You asked her to have your babies. And now you're saying you're doing her a favor by taking care of her and taking care of that situation. And you should be able to cheat since you doing that. Sir,
I simply asked you a question asking you, did he leave his duty as a husband? Did he leave what he brought to the table?
He put his family in jeopardy. When you bring other people from the outside into your family, you put your family at risk. Period. You put your wife at risk. You put her life at risk. You put her health at risk. You put your kids at risk.
With these expectations and this logic,
this is a crying shame. And I think Anton was smart to cut these two loose. This is a horror show. This is worthy of the freak show. They could put this on the road.
This is what keeps a woman.
Whatever,
this is what keeps a woman single to the age of 35 with these expectations.
Again, you put your whole family at risk when you're out here with these crazy ass bitches. You don't know what they will do. Period. And you think you could just be out here and just put your family and your wife's life at risk, and it's fine because you pay the bills, because you make sure people have food, because you do what you're supposed to do? It's like you want a treat for doing what you're supposed to do? I didn't grow up that way. I didn't get an allowance or any special treatment for getting A's and cleaning my room and doing what I was supposed to do.
What does that have to do with anything?
So let me get this straight.
You don't get an allowance and extra shit for getting A's.
So hold on, let me get this straight. You live here. I'm about to ask you a question. You can rant. I'm just asking you a question to try to have a conversation.
Go ahead.
You said it is what is a man supposed to do? Okay, so what is a woman supposed to do?
Oh, so we're flipping it around now. We're talking about you being in the streets. What does it mean? What?
We talking about you stated a man's provisions and protection.
Stand on your square, Bruzzer. Continue to ask the question. Don't let her bounce around and distract you. Stand on your square.
A woman is what he's supposed to do. His obligation, right?
Oh.
And I'm asking you in return for that.
She doesn't know. That's what this comes down to. She doesn't know. Neither one of these two are marriage material. And they're probably both going to be cat ladies because they're hard-headed. These are the little girls that run around on the playground trying to fight boys for no reason, just causing chaos. And the teachers constantly having to sit them off to the side and calm them down. That's these two unruly ones right here, you know.
In return for that, what is a woman supposed to do?
In return, so this is okay.
That's just a simple question. And Kay, you can help her out. Y'all are both ladies. And if you have a man that's providing and protecting for you and creating a legacy for your children, in return to that, what are you supposed to do?
What does that have to do with anything? We don't even know the situation. So what is that?
Now we don't know the situation, but she knew the situation when it came down to the man.
That Nia Long wasn't doing what she was supposed to do as a woman, so it was his right to go and be on this bullshit.
Now we gotta go back to the topic. We just had a conversation between me and you. When I asked you the question, now you want to go back to the top. We can do that if you want to bow out and go back to the topic.
What do you specifically want a specific answer to? Since you need a specific, what is specific?
I can't make it no specific.
Go ahead. What is it? What?
Okay, so hold on. Let me just break it down in the simpler terms.
No, because I'm making my point, and instead of him making answering my point, he's asking a question. That's all I'm saying. But if you want to ask a question instead of responding,
we're fulfilling what you value from us as far as family, marriage, and legacy. And I'm asking you, what are you doing? What are you fulfilling as far as what we value? Do you even know?
Most women, I think, a lot of women, because we can't speak for all. You can't speak for all men.
Don't you love it when they do that? I can't speak for all women. But she can sure as hell speak about all men. She can speak about men she doesn't date.
All women. None of us can speak for all people. First of all, we only know so many people. Okay? Fucking period. So some women, I believe, are doing all the things. They're definitely doing all the things. Taking care of themselves, taking care of their family, taking care of their man, taking care of their household. Being a helpmate, being understanding, being accommodating, doing the things that because what every husband needs is different. So fulfilling whatever it is that their husband needs from them. So what else do they need to be doing?
See, she doesn't know anything about what universal things that a woman should be doing with marriage, because she long ago separated herself from gender roles. This is the end result of a generation of feminist teachings. She has no idea. She just thinks that a woman is supposed to be able to do whatever she wants to do. Say whatever she wants to say. Talk over the man. And everything is peachy as long as he doesn't cheat.
So here's the thing, and I'm glad you answered it that way. That's pretty good answer. But see, here's the thing: men are willing to make sacrifices that you guys are not willing to make. When we provide things and do like you stated, you're doing what you're supposed to, and you do what you're supposed to. Y'all are not willing to make the sacrifices we make. We can work 20, 30 years and retire and leave you with everything for the kids. You guys are not willing to do that. We're exercising options. You guys are not willing to deal with that. But
Not
we
willing to
in
do
turn,
what?
hold on, but I'm about to make a point. But we in turn can marry you and take care of kids from another man and make that sacrifice. But you can't make a sacrifice for a man that has 7 figures.
What
That's part of
sacrifice?
1% population that exercises option.
What
But you want-
sacrifice? Oh, for
but
him to
you're-
be. So me letting him cheat or being cool and staying with him when he cheat, that's the sacrifice I
Okay,
have
so
to make.
with your logic, okay, so this is how we can even
because
score.
he
This
takes
is how
care
we
of his
can even
kids,
score.
his family.
This is how we can even score. So with your logic, if men stop cheating, that means women who have kids with another man need to stay with that man and never marry another a man that those kids don't belong to.
What?
And that'll
Now
even
you're bringing
score.
up other kids and shit. That what the heck?
You know why? You know why I'm bringing it up?
What in the heck
Because
does that have to
women
do
are starting to
with?
be goal orientated and they're starting to
We
put all this
talking to
mileage
two
on their
women that
bodies
don't
and
have kids.
And now when they
So
want to
you're bringing
marry,
up-
they're bringing all this baggage with them.
Again, you talking to 2 women that don't have kids. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you're bringing up
so
a whole
I'm
other
talking
part
about the
of
rule and
relationship.
not the exception, though. I'm talking about the majority of what's going on.
The majority of women don't have kids. Just like the majority of men in America don't have kids.
How many black women in the population are single mothers?
You tell me, since you know.
They never, ever want to acknowledge any of the stats. And then they'll say, oh, stats can say anything. They'll disavow any information that you give them that is factual, just so that they can be right.
Because clearly you know, because I'm wrong. Majority of women out here got kids.
And how many black women by majority are overweight?
And how many black women are step parents? How many black women's man had a kid before she married him, or before she got with him?
See, that's different.
And how
Because
many
most of the
baby
time, those
mamas
kids are not in the
does he
house with
have?
a black man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you asking questions that you don't have
So
the
how many
answers
of those?
to.
So let's just entertain it.
You don't
How
have the
many of those?
answers.
How many of those black men have the kids in their household whenever they dating a stepmother?
You tell me. You got the statistics pulled up? You asking questions you don't have the answer to. You can't make me wrong when you ain't right.
See, she is hell bent on badgering him to a breaking point. This is not a constructive conversation at all. This was a team up, and Bruzzer kept it together up into this last part, and he started basically diverting out into these other branches of other parts of the potential problems that may arise when you're out here dating women. So he's taking an L here, and because she's breaking him down. And a lot of times when women badger the men that they're with, this is what they do. They just say, okay, you win. And they give them whatever they want. And you end up leading an existence of servitude to that person who's holding that whipped tongue that they lash you with every time they see fit to tell you that you should do what they want you to do. You should think how they want you to think. That you should be whatever it is that they think you should be. They never accept what you want to do or who you say you are or who you want to be. And I submit to you that you should never, ever deal with something like this. Bruzzer should let them have it. I would not go on their show if this is how they're going to conduct themselves. There's no way that he can make a point that they can even get to the topic of the show. They have dealt with the topic of the show very, very little.
don't have the answers.
Have you had a relationship with a man who had kids?
I have had a relationship.
Were the kids living in the household with him?
Yeah, he was a single father, actually.
Oh God.
His baby mama lived in another city.
Oh God. All right. So how often do you think that scenario is it appears?
I don't know. This is my life. I don't know. Majority of my friends don't have kids.
So are you?
I don't know.
Okay, that's the end of that hot mess. So, what do you guys think about that? I mean, this was painful, and I'm sure it was painful for Bruzzer, to sit up and have to deal with that. That's just crazy. I don't. That's why I put the dunce hats on them, because they're crazy. These are the unlearned individuals that you put at the head of the class to make an example of, because this was a failed attempt at discussing why a beautiful woman like Nia Long could get cheated on. Well, I mean, you don't know what the situation is with him and Nia, but he had sex with a person on the that was a consensual situation. It was still pretty unprofessional, so he's paid the cost of that. Nia has not left him. She's still with him. So regardless of what they think, she ain't going anywhere. And if she does go somewhere, hey, she knows he can get another one. And it's hard for people to accept that. But if that's not something that you can accept in a relationship, then you should be fine with him moving on and going and getting another one, and you getting back out in the streets and having a date again. But these women are young. They don't get it yet. They don't understand that a woman that's in her 50s is, menopausal, premenopausal. She probably ain't even having sex. Probably might not even want to have sex. She might be having, painful issues that prevent her from being able to have sex. So all she is pretty much a Ferrari, with a Volkswagen engine. So, yeah, it looks good, but it doesn't go fast anymore. It doesn't have that oomph that it's supposed to have. See, they don't know about the bad knees and the being tired and not really wanting to be bothered. They don't understand about that as these women get older, because TikTok is showing them crazy things like 50 is the new 20, 50 is the new 30, and those types of things. You see these outlier women who still look good when they're old, and they're on here dancing on TikTok and doing all kinds of stuff, but that's just for show. You don't know what the day-to-day life of a 58, 54, 52-year-old woman is. And men like a woman that has that young spirit, still has that smile, still likes, to have vigorous, sexual interactions. So once that plays out, you may still be loyal to that woman that he's with. He still loves her, but he got to get his sex somewhere else. I mean, that may not be acceptable to some people, maybe distasteful to some people, but sometimes that's just the way it is. You might not like it, but you just have to acknowledge that that's the way it is and go on about your business, because there are some things that you can't change. And things that you can't change, you walk around. If you can't move a rock, you walk around it and continue on your path. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and close this out. This kind of went a little long, but I appreciate you guys checking out the show, and you guys tell me what you think in the comments, and appreciate you. Y'all have a good night.
I feel like a motherless child alone.